Welcome to the channel, welcome to the workshop, and you'll see I bought a new toy. I bought a endoscope, Borescope, the cheap one off eBay. So I thought we'd go through not the reason why I bought it, the test, as well as what you need to set this thing up, because there are pros and cons to it, and we're going to go through that in a minute. So cut to the chase, do an overhead. I'll show the opening of the packaging, show what you get, what you need to do to get this thing working, and yeah, we'll see what quality is like. So this is what you get. It came in a brown jiffy bag. It's from eBay UK. I bought the mid one. I'll go through what the reason why that is in a minute. But yeah, it's not much to it. So it literally is a plastic bag. So you get the Bora endoscope, some instructions, and a few accessories. So we'll go through those in a minute. So I went for the mid length one. So they do I think it's 1.5 meters, a 2, a 3.5, and a 5. I went for the 3.5, thinking that if you're going to be using this down the back of an engine block, for instance, that's going to be more than useful, or back of a sofa, something like that. The reason I got this is my mate across the road was checking the tops of his pistons in his Transit van to see if one had cracked, and he's a professional mechanic, and he has an actual mechanic's endoscope, Borescope thing. And I thought, you know what, I'll go to see what it's like in comparison, for as cheap as possible. So I said this was $9.99. There's a couple of things. It has a number of options for how you connect it together. So USB, and then the kit pops open, and you've got this to go to USB-C. It comes with a few accessories. Let me just open these up. Which is, come here, a mirror. So obviously this is quite rigid. Oops. So I'll try it again. This is quite rigid, so that clicks into the end, and then you can see round this way, sort of. So that's that. It's got this, which is to attach these against. So you've got a hook in case you want to hook something up, and you've got this, which apparently is a magnet. Now, I'm not convinced. So let's set some screws or something and see if it's how strong this magnet actually is. So let's see what I forgot here. A bit. Oh, hello. I wasn't expecting that. That's so when you're losing your 10mm socket, that's probably enough to get some. I'll see if we can get a bit heavier. Let's have a look. What about if you dropped a screwdriver? What would it do with that? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty. Okay, I'm quite impressed with that. I wasn't expecting that to be anywhere near as good as it should be. So I'll just put those over there for the moment. So a little few accessories. I'll get rid of that as well. So the instructions come through, and this is part of the problem. So obviously it comes in Chinese and English. It's a very basic piece of software, but you have to scan a QR code. The QR code goes to a direct website which you download effectively the exe file. It does not go through Google, the Google store. So obviously, first red flag is some security issues on that. I don't think there will be. I've downloaded PDFs, for instance, for Lego and stuff like that, but it is a concern. What I have done is my old phone, my old Pixel, which I used to film on. I stripped a lot of data off this, and I downloaded it onto this to see what it's like. So the download took a while. It's 82 megabytes, and it took about 20 minutes, and that's not because of my network. I think that's from where it's coming from as a slow connection. But it's connected. I've fired it up, and I've done some testing on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the camera angle a little bit, and we're going to go through the software. So I've been playing around with this, and then we'll do some scanning around so you can get an idea of the quality of the video, the limitations of that video, because there is a limitation, particularly on my one, and what the pictures look like. So let me change the camera angle a little bit so you can see the screen a bit better, and we'll do that. Yeah, I just thought I'd just show you how flexible this thing is. So this is the cable, and it's not very flexible. It's a little bit, but I get the feeling it's got a metal core, this wire, just to hold it. So obviously, last thing you want to do is push it down somewhere, have it all just folding up out of the way. But it's yeah, I think you could get it through a tight spot, I suppose. But yeah, I just thought I'd show exactly how flexible it sort of is. Yeah. Okay, so I've fired up the software. So the first thing you'll see is it asks for us about permissions, which is fair enough because it needs to get security. Now, what you need to do is plug the USB-C in, and it should pick up the camera. And then we get this, and it automatically fires up. Now, there is a controller in line which allows you to vary the brightness of the LED, which is quite useful. And there's a switch on it so you can take photos. And if I press the photo, it'll tell you it's saved the photo. Okay, so that's that. If we go on to this, you can also change the quality of recording. Now, this on mine, I have to change it down to, what's that on there? 320 by 240, which is not great. So it's not even HD. It tells you it's HD, but it's not. It's the only thing that it'll do when you can press record. Press record, and you can see it counting up. You can move this around. So useful things on it, for instance, you can zoom and spin the image on the fly, which is quite a nice feature. So if you've got it upside down, you can do that. Obviously, when you stop it, it'll save successfully. Now, this only works if I'm not sure, I'm on the lower quality one. So you click on it, you can see what you've shot. As you can see on here, that's the video I've just shot, that one. These are the images I've taken. The green ones, they're the full HD, the 640 number of pixels. It does not work on this. I've tried a number of times. It has to be that low definition version. So that's that. Right. Okay. We'll get out of that. But in terms of actual imaging, I'll go up here. The refresh rate's not great. But once you get close, and I think the focal point is quite close, obviously because it's meant to be for zooming into close stuff. But as you can see, once you get close to what you want, oops, focus isn't so bad. I'm just going to do my screws here at the moment, screwdrivers and bits and things. The actual still images aren't so bad. I think it's that so the motion is shocking, so you're going to have to move slow with this. So that's the setup of it. Pretty basic software. You can take pictures. It will allow you to share and transfer between phones, which is good because I found they're MP4 image files, and I found that my camera doesn't have the software to view them. It won't view them in my imaging software. Let's say that the standard one on a Pixel on a Google. So I'm gonna have to transfer it out to this phone, which is the one I'm recording on, which is the one I edit on, and then we'll see what we can do. So the plan is I'm going to record some video, we'll take some pictures, and we're going to do some exploring in the workshop just to give you an idea of the quality of the imaging, and we'll see what it looks like. So I think I'll do that. I'll do some quick shots now, and then we'll come back and do a wrap up of what my thoughts are. I do have some concerns about the software. Not so much the software itself, but more the where you download it from and how controlled it is. So let's shoot some test footage and see what we get to. Right, we'll do some testing. I've got a box full of engine parts and wiring and all sorts of stuff. I want to see if we can get this endoscope in there and just have a look, see what imaging we get back out of it. Give you an idea if you're using it down an engine block or something like that, or down the back of a sofa or something. So let me move this over here. So as you can see, got all holes in here I can get to. There's all sorts of stuff in here. So got the camera going, and I'll hopefully put an image somewhere up here what we're recording. So let me get this recording. So which way around are we going? So we go and say here, see some bits, and get through any further. So these are all old engine parts that I've got for build. Well, I used to build trophies. Let's do some more at some point. I'm just shoving this and I'm just twisting the wire as I can to see if I can change the angle. That's as far as we're going to get that way. And you can see the imaging's not so bad. I mean, that's quite a crisp-ish image. It's not high quality, but you know what I mean. Right, let's get that and let's see if I can take a photo of that. We'll do a comparison. Let's got a photo of that. Let's see if we can go down, say down this way a bit. Same area, isn't it? Let's try through here. Nope. There we go. And that's pretty well stocked. This, as you can see, we've got all bits. It seems to have a particular distance it likes. Big spring in there. What I've done is, just to give you an idea, I've picked up an old speaker. Just to give you an idea, because I'll get the image running, based upon what distance you need to get what sort of image we gain. Now I've got the light turned all the way up on this. I'll give you an idea of how close you can get. And again, I might see if I can get to give you an idea. Text on the bottom. As I said before, its motion is the recall on it, and the stutter and the stabilization is not very good. If I just grab that, let's get a picture of that. Just get an idea for quality of picture. But it seems to like being about, I don't know, sort of about here. I've also got the feeling that the camera is a little bit twisted in the end of this. So, what are we saying about this then? Useful? I think it is. You just see me now just going through my box of bits. If that was like an engine block or down the back of your sofa, you can certainly pick up what you need to. The refresh rate is shocking. It's really bad. My mate's one, he says he's got a professional one. That's like watching video. It's so clear, so crisp all the time, and then it will settle in and then get better focus. This does the same, but very, very slowly. If you're in a bit of a bind though, you need to get down the back of an engine, check inside a piston. You could use this quite comfortably if you need to go down the back of a sofa to find something. Or, as I said, this little magnet attachment. I was quite impressed with that for such a small magnet, how much it could lift, really. So if you lose your keys down a drain, something like that, you could pick it up. If you wanted to check a drain for blockage, you could use this. It is apparently waterproof. The only difference is it's a bit flexible, not very flexible. So it has its purpose. It has something you could do. Now, let's get to the old elephant in the room then. The problem with it, I think, is the downloading of the software. I would not have downloaded that onto the phone I'm filming with, because that's my daily driver. I wouldn't want to risk it because the software is not backed up through a Google purchase site, even though it's free download. That to me is makes me a bit uneasy. Would I use it? I would use it because I have this phone which I can use, which is stripped off of all software. So that's a decision you've got to make. However, see, I paid $9.99 for this, but there's another version of this that comes with a screen and a little handle. So it all comes in one. I'll put an image up somewhere up here. For 20, 25 quid, I've seen them on eBay for. I think it's the same piece of kit. Obviously, if you go more expensive, you get better one. I've seen one which the whole end spins and turns, you can turn it, but they were 120 quid. I'm looking at this as a budget piece of kit. So in hindsight, I went for the cheapest one to see what it's like. I don't think you should go for the cheapest one. I think you should go for something similar to this one. If you need something like this that's got the screen built, hopefully you'll be able to download pictures off it and video off it if you wanted to do that. But I think that's a better option because it's more, what do you call it? It's more retained what you're doing with it. You're not having to use a piece of software or a phone which has got all your personal data on it and things like that. I mean, you could put it onto a tablet and use it through that. You can hook this up to a laptop apparently, but again, start downloading the software. So, does it have a purpose? Yeah. Is it good? It's okay. It's okay if it fixes a job for a tenner. Fixes the job for a tenner, doesn't it? But I think it's just the software thing that's making me nervous. So I'm going to leave it there. But at least I'll give you an idea of what this is. Is it useful? Are you happy to do this? Do you have something you can download the software on, or is it just worth paying an extra 10 quid and getting something you don't have to hook up to a phone? Anyway, I thought I'd give it a go. Cheapest one on eBay I could find, and yeah, I'll probably keep it rocking around there. I'll probably keep the software on that phone just in case. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Right, Star. Thanks for watching. Cheers.